And so our institute that works for research, we lowered the price of food since the last 3 decades. And so we have a cheaper food over there. But even though the prices rise a lot next couple of months. A concern to produce milk, we have some flexibilities on our production system. The average of per cow yield is very low because some producers are switching between beef and dairy. And we can probably we are moving to a grazing system. That is what pretty much is happening, and they are using less land for that, you know. So it's a better use for the land, and intensify and put fertilizer on. But regards to fertilizer, it almost doubled the price in the last year. It was a kind of increase in price of the fertilizer and also the oil in general. So we decided to produce ethanol, and I think the country has been a bit criticized about that, but the area that is used for producing sugarcane is pasture land that can be, it's an arable land, you know, it has to be prepared by tractor, you know, and it represents 1% of all area used. So we have a lot to increase area on that. It's a lot. And so it's not a matter of not producing milk because we are producing ethanol. It's the opposite side. Sugarcane is the dairy farm can take advantage of the sugarcane in several ways. So it's not competing at that point. And also for the biodiesel, we have all that soybean meal coming out, and so it has to be used in some way. So it's also not competing. I mentioned about transportation cost. It increased a lot. We have everything based on diesel. We don't have any training over there. It's a model based on the trucks, you know, all transportation. And I mentioned about fertilizer, and actually 34% the last year it increased in price. Well, I think the main points were that pasture is used for producing sugarcane, and they are really building other plants, and I think they will really intensify producing this ethanol. And so about dairy, we have a lot of flexibility, and probably you increase production a lot in the next years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lorildo, and we will move over to Olga and to Ukraine, another country blessed with extremely good conditions for agriculture. I guess you have all heard about the black soil and its productivity. So I heard you can produce enough of agricultural products to feed almost all Europe. So there is a potential somewhere. Yeah. Where are you?
Thank you very much for giving me this possibility. And I will say that yes, Ukraine is the black soil country it has 25% of world black soil, and it gives us possibility to feed from 250 up to 300 million people, maybe most of them Europe. So Ukraine has a big potential and a great condition for milk production. Milk prices are following the world level with a little delay, but now prices are still high. And the difference between feed price and milk price gives for the farmers very good possibility and very good chance to grow fast. Also, milk production is showing decreasing. The main indicators in the dairy sector are quite good. Milk consumption is growing, technical modernization of dairy processing, export rate up to 30%, investment attractiveness, and democracy development. All this means that it's needed not long time to start growing production. And the most important is that very good quality of agricultural land and comfortable territorial location give the great opportunity for Ukraine in the future. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Olga. That's quite a lot, actually. Then we'll move to Nicola and New Zealand, a land that is entirely almost living from exporting dairy products and other agriculture items to the world. So it's a situation that should enjoy good prices. Let us hear the gospel.
According to okay, well, I guess New Zealand is the opposite. In Ukraine, we don't have your lovely black soil, which we do. Just background, New Zealand only has 4 million people. We consume about 4%, I think it is, of what we produce. So the rest is all exported. We are a country that the companies that we have that do our exporting are very international in their focus. Fonterra, for example, that looks after a large chunk of the milk, actually also sources 20% of the milk that it sells from other countries, so it utilises that international network very much. In terms of what's happened within the country, one other thing I needed to cover was how the milk price is set. I've travelled through a number of different countries in the last few months, and everyone keeps asking me, how do we set our price? And it didn't take me long before I realised that what they were asking is, how do we set our price each month? Well, the answer is that we don't. The price is set, or an indicative price is set now for us, for cows that are going to start calving in August. So prior to the year starting, an indicative price is given, but it isn't paid out in full until the following October. So it's 14 months before that price is finally actually received in your hand, and it may or may not be the indicative price. Normally it's a little bit more, but it takes a long time before it finally comes through. And that price is based on the company's predictions of, or current knowledge of contracts that they have, and futures contracts. As an exporting country, our biggest risk is our exchange rate. In terms of what's happening within New Zealand, dairying is very buoyant, as you can imagine. Our real milk price over recent years has been about $4 per kilogram milk solid, and the price they finally announced for last season, the season we've just finished, is $7.90, so that's almost double the price of what we've ever been paid before. So there's some very happy farmers in New Zealand. The indicative price for next year is $7, so again, much, much higher than we've ever been paid before. And as a result, there are a lot of farmers who are converting to dairying from other pastoral use, and everything's being capitalised into land value. We pay a huge amount for our land. We're still basically pastoral and forage farmers though, because for us, concentrate comes from over the sea. We don't have a big cropping industry. That was all.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicola. We will then move over to the United Kingdom.